welcome. And thank you. I love you all. I'm so grateful that you are here and that you're just taking your precious time, which is this commodity, truly. You know, your precious time, you can't get it back. This is it, you know, this very now moment. And so that you choose to spend your now moment with me and with us is treasured. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my brother Art said self-care is so needed, and he knows this. He works in the healthcare industry. I mean, he is in the healthcare profession as a nurse in psychiatric facility, and taking care of himself and taking care of others is essential. And so I am happy that this is our conversation today, and I'm so happy that Queen of Self-Care, Deborah Behr, is in the house. Deborah, I have known her now since the beginning of last year when I moved here to Kauai. She and I connected along with her husband, Otto. Aloha, Otto. in a retreat that was here. And instantly, we all fell in love with each other. And as I've grown to know her over this year and into this time, she is a light being, and she shares so much of her love and wisdom with everyone she meets. And you get her going, and she will change your life. So I want to welcome Deborah and to the topic and the conversation of self-care. And so I hand it off to you, my dear friend.
Mahalo, Dorena, and thank you for holding this sacred space for us to all be together. I am so grateful. I just feel so grateful. And so I just wanted to share just a little bit about myself and how I look at self-care as a whole, you know, rituals that I do and things like that. And immediately the word, you know, boundaries come into play, because how do we take responsibility for ourselves? Because it's no one else's responsibility but ours. It's not someone else's, oh, I can't do this because they or them or this or that or the other, because it's our responsibility. And we get to love and care for ourselves. And how do we nurture and nourish ourselves and rejuvenate ourselves? And looking at the whole picture, broadly used, mind, body, spirit can be broken down into many different categories. So for me, I begin upon awakening. And when I awaken in the morning and I take that first breath, I breathe in gratitude. I'm so grateful. And then I breathe into my whole being. And something I've been doing for years, I stretch like a cat, because I know I want the breath of life to go through every fiber of my being, to open up and to breathe life into me. And I set an intention and give myself that moment in time before I step out of the bed. So when I step out of the bed, then I walk into the kitchen and I hydrate with water. Water is life. And then I go into a brief meditation and go on to my yoga mat so that I can touch into all that is and my connection with all that is. And that's the best way that I can nurture myself first thing in the morning. And I just do like a 15-minute meditative at that moment, and then a 15-minute yoga wake up in the morning. And so then, of course, I am still one that I enjoy my coffee. So then I make a wonderful cup of coffee and go into some readings. And I nurture my mind and my body through brain exercises and different things to wake into my day, and beautiful meditative readings to provoke mindfulness and thoughtfulness in my being as I move into my day, so that I set my intention on what my day will be. And I believe that you cannot separate, like when you look at wellness and wholeness and self-care, you can't separate mind, body, or spirit, because all affects each other. And so for me, I look at the wholeness of, in my mind, what am I going to create today? This is part of my self-care, is my creativity. Beginning in the morning with my quiet and setting my intentions, looking at how can I mindfully move through my day, and look at all the limitless possibility for that. And then I move into the nourishing of my body. And my body encompasses how is my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health. And that all is part of another body that I have not paid attention to enough. And I realize now why that part of my life became unhealthy, and that was my financial body. So it all encompasses and reflects and interjects to each other parts of our lives. And so I try to look at the whole so that I don't continue to neglect different parts of my body, of my life, my being, and in this world. I'm not of this world, I'm in this world. And so in my spiritual practices, what do I do to bring joy? How do I nourish my higher self? In my meditations, am I listening for my guidance? How do I play? How do I have fun? Do I dance? How do I nourish myself with music? I love music. And do I take the time to do all these things so I may remember why I came here and what I agreed to do coming here, and how now our collective consciousness, we must take care of ourselves so that we can reflect and manifest out into the global community, because this is our time. And I am so grateful to be a part of this collective consciousness of healing. And so we must take care of ourselves so that we can take this into our global community and remembrance, and know that we're truly one. There's no separation. And so I'm grateful that, Doreen, you asked me to share this, and I look forward to hearing from all of you, because we all have our ways in which we do these things for ourselves. Like we all have our loves and likes and things that work. So I'd like to hear from everyone. And I want to say thank you for letting me share. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Deborah. What I appreciate about what you shared, and then I'll definitely love to hear anybody and everybody, when whoever wants to share today on our call. What I love about what you had to share was how you created rituals, and more now lately, since I've been home, like most of you, sequestered in a home. Um, this past week, the what's it called? We Can Heal Your Life Summit. Louise Hayes, You Can Heal Your Life Summit was taking place, and I caught a lot of the speakers.
Yes.
And many of the speakers talked about creating rituals
Mm-hmm.
of this type that you're talking about, self-care rituals or rituals to connect. Like, how are you going to start your day? How are
Yes.
you going to end your day? And these can all be done in ways that are really beautifully created and conscious. And so it became more and more aware. I became more and more aware that I don't even have rituals like that. I don't have anything where I'll wake up, like you shared, and you stretch like a cat, and you have your gratitude, and you intend a certain day, thing you're going to be doing for the day. Like, I love that you reminded me of this. Oh, Philip, Van, I'm just saying, Van, I
You
don't want
went
him to,
black.
yeah, I don't, he's starting to share his screen. So I want to make sure that he doesn't do that, because we'll see whatever he's looking at. He just told me that he was having some technical difficulties. So there he goes. All right. Oh, I'll just let him know. Please don't share your screen. um, the sharing of the screen is nice when people have pictures, or later on we're going to share some lyrics to a song that we're all going to sing, so that way somebody can see that screen.
Yes.
So what I appreciate that. Of course, throughout the day, there are moments that I do connect with that idea of taking care of myself. I'll ground. That's something that I do. I'll take my shoes off, find the grass, and take 15 minutes to just walk around and ground. And so that, to me, is a spiritual practice of my own self-care, where I connect with the earth and I connect with the environment. I breathe with the ground, and I imagine that oneness that you were talking about. So what I'd like to do, hearing you, is I would like to think about how do I ritualize in a beautiful way how I would begin a day and how I would end a day. So what were you getting ready to say, Deborah?
Well, that's what I didn't say, was about ending the day, to before you go to sleep, to set clear intentions before you go to sleep, because your waking hours and sleeping hours all matter. And so when you set the intention before you go to sleep, to rest and rejuvenate for the night, then you can allow your dream life to co-create with you as well. And that is a beautiful practice. And, finding, because it brings you mindfully to your place of going to rest and rejuvenate. And I find that to be a really wonderful practice. And then I wanted to share with everyone that there is going to be a global meditation on the 21st of May. And you can tune in for that through Agape. I forgot to write the time down. I think it's the 11 a.m. Pacific time, but it's a global meditation, and it's going to be really powerful. There's so many people that are going to be participating in it, and we could name lots of names, but all of us matter. And this is how we up the vibration of planetary healing as we move out of this mindlessness into mindful living. Well,
Beautiful.
it's our time.
It
It's
is.
so exciting.
Me too. Thank you for mentioning it. So it's the 21st, which is coming
21st,
up. It's going to
11
be between now.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
11 a.m.
posted
Well, it's 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Pacific. It's posted
Yes.
on Agape Live, Agape International.
Okay. I
So
plan on being on. That's 7 a.m. my time in Hawaii. And this is their intention, is for it to be the largest global
yes,
meditation with 1 billion people.
yeah,
That's what they're putting out.
musicians.
1
I mean,
billion people.
it's gonna be, yeah, we'll all be up dancing. Yes, no music.
Mhm. And because I know everybody who's on the call, I will be sure to link you up with that as I get that information, so you can just go click, that kind of thing. So if
Thank
you're
you.
interested, I'm going to be on. I hope to see our Heart and Soul gathering on too, because this is what we're
Yes,
talking about, to connect in that way. Thank you for that too, and thank you for reminding us about the evening, what you do for your evening rituals. Okay, my dear, beautiful friends, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your wisdom. We want to hear your practices, what it is that you do
hmm,
to take care of yourself. We know that self-care is not selfish. It is essential. It is, how are you going to take care of others if you don't take care of yourself? And
yes.
so you take care of yourself fully with that love, with that filling your well up. So how do you do it? What do you do? Or are you in the moment challenged by it? So this is open for discussion. This is why we have this forum, because it's not somebody preaching and we're all just sitting there listening. We have a topic, we present it, and then it's open for sharing. So
Yes.
what you do is you just click on your name, and there's a place to raise your hand, because then I know you have something that you would like to share. You have something to say, something that is important to you. So, Dr. Jonathan, please, what would you like to share? And welcome. Aloha.
Aloha, everybody. It's nice to see everybody again on Sunday.
Hi.
Connect. Thank you, Deborah, for all of your sharing your rituals, and I can tell that you're leading a very contemplative practice in your daily life. And so I wanted to kind of piggyback on that, and I've been playing with this idea also that Doreen touched on one Sunday of we're 100% human and we're 100% divinity or spirit at the same moment. And I've been playing every day with this just distinction of when I'm doing or active, this is what I call the human part. And when I'm just being, and this is what I say is my spirit part. And so I try to every day be aware of, am I being or doing? And I'm, during this time of quarantine, I've been trying to lean more into the being. So I try to divide my day of what do I have to do in my human practice, my chores, care for my dogs, care for my body, care for my home, and all the material things. And then when I finish that, then I say, okay, the rest of my day is going to be in being. What do I love? Being in nature, being by the water, just in the being. And so that's something I've been playing with, of just that simple distinction. I find that trying to have something simple for myself to shift into has been valuable. So I just wanted to share what I've been experimenting with. Thank you all. Love you all. It's wonderful to be
Wow,
together.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, nice. Thank you for your sharing. It is wonderful that we're together, and I love your background being in the nature, and yes, 100% human, 100% divine. It's not 50-50. And it's hard for us to wrap ourselves around that concept. How can we 100% two things? Yes, and more than just that. But if we just embrace this concept, how is spirit going to do its work except through the physical apparatus that we are? And so thank you for this body temple, and who I am and who you are, that gets to be the eyes, the hands, the hearts of God. So 100%. And I like how you have said, okay, this is the human doing part of it, where I've got to take care of business and take care of things that are of that nature, and also the times of just rest and pause and relax and connect and absorb that, when you say being in nature and remembering that. So thank you. Luis, I would love to hear what you have to say. And welcome and aloha.
Hi, Doreen. Good seeing
Aloha.
Aloha.
you. Aloha. Uh, as far as self-care, I look at it, well, self-care as far as body and mind, keeping your body healthy and healthy eating and all that, that's all good. And the mind part comes with, the spiritual side. Uh, like, attending this is very spiritually uplifting. And you are a very spiritually uplifting person, Doreen, and it makes me feel good. And of course, there's others too as well that I involved in, and that's a good thing. Uh, Self-care, because I've also been involved in the political stuff that's going on, and I have to be careful, and because what we've been taught in regards to judgment, and I try to approach it as been told me, to me that, look, go in with a feeling of love, and people they, from the other side, they honestly feel a certain way, and I try to approach it that way. When I was at the demonstration Friday, and it's very nice for Felicia, councilwoman. She came and, well, Doreen, she was there, and she talked to everybody and so forth, and I felt a need, I wanted to talk to her. So actually, after everybody left, it was just her and I talking, and I got such really good vibrations from her, from a woman who is really concerned and wanted a dialogue, and without being judgmental. And so she did listen to me, and I listened to her, and it was a very pleasant conversation. And I told her, I said, Felicia, I said, I voted for you, and I support you, and that, it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling, rather than like before a few weeks ago or whatever, and when it got to the part of being judgmental, that's one thing I do try to avoid, because that's to allow to accept what is, and approach it with I feel with a good heart, loving heart, and, good dialogue is a good thing, and hopefully all this will come to pass and we'll all feel good. So thank you again, and yeah, looking forward to the coming ones, following weeks. Thank you, Doreen.
You're very welcome. Mahalo, and
Thank you, Luis.
for your share, Luis. And
Thank you.
I love how taking care, in how I hear what you're saying is in a couple of ways. One is taking care of you can also be what you feel strongly about to speak about, because that's like a way of where you feel that you are being true to yourself. Taking care of you is being true to yourself. And being true to yourself could actually mean it's something that's your opinions and beliefs, and what how you view something can be completely opposite from somebody else's, right? Mm-hmm. All of us on this know this, that there are moments and times we have been on one side and someone has been on another, whether it be someone you are related to or somebody that is in politics, right? Someone you just know of. And so what I love about what you said is that this idea of dialogue, and also of remaining non-judgmental. Because when you go into judgment, your heart has closed. And when your heart is closed, you are not taking care of you. Bottom line. Your heart is closed now. You do not have access to the love, fully available, open-hearted love, because you're closed. I mean, that's the nature of it. So to stay open-hearted, even when you have these difficult, challenging, uncomfortable, conflicting conversations, and to just continue to remain open. I'm going to share a story. It happened yesterday. And Deborah, I shared it with you, so I think this is a really good time because of what Louis said. And I was at the Midas store and getting my car battery charged up. I went to a Napa. Napa said I need to just charge my battery. So I went in to get a battery charged service. 2 hours later, the service was done. I paid my $40, turned the car on, and it didn't start. Okay? So they determined within 5 minutes that the battery wasn't holding a charge. I needed a brand new battery. And so I tell the manager, I said, do you have a way, did you have a way to diagnose the battery when I came in 2 hours ago? He goes, yes. I said, what did you determine then that the battery was completely dead? I said, well, it would have been nice if I had that information 2 hours ago, that maybe having a new battery rather than charging the battery would have been a better option. And I could feel him getting defensive. And the body language, the voice, I even said, I just want to have a conversation. That's kind of like what you said, Louise, just have a dialogue. I just want to have a conversation. Please don't get upset. And I even said those words, please don't get upset. I just want to have a conversation. And he goes, well, what do you want to talk? What do you want me to say? I said, just maybe for the future that this doesn't happen again, basically. And he goes, I'm sorry, gruffly, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay. So 30 minutes later, I get my key back, and with credit card in hand, I get ready to pay. And he tells me, because it's been taken care of. Like, oh, you had my credit card, on file? That's what I thought. Maybe he had my credit, because I just paid for it 30 minutes ago. Maybe he still had some kind of system that holds on to my number. He goes, no, because you came in here for a battery charge and you're leaving with a brand new battery. He handed me the bill, 0 balance owed. And I just thanked him. I said, that was not what I expected. But what happened for me, and what I want to share is that I was true to myself. Like 2 hours of something that he knew 2 hours ago, my battery was dead. And I could have had that decision then. And I kept my heart open. I just wanted to have a conversation. Didn't want to make him wrong. Just have a conversation. And God wink, that I was given a gift out of it. I call it my Midas miracle, because I went to Midas. And so I just want to share that, because we can have these conversations. And I'm getting a little exercise with it, with a little thing like this, so that as perhaps bigger things show up, I will have exercised this muscle to keep my heart open, so that I can continue that when there's larger, more challenging conversations, because I know how it feels and I know how it can work. At the same time, I was able to speak my truth. So that was self-care for me in a way. Did you want to say something more, Louise?
Yes. What that tells me, Doreen, is that we know that everybody has good in them. Everybody has and those, when you have one, you could also have the other, and sometimes there's a clash. And because without question, you are spiritual, but you are also a healer. And so just being you were able, what I see is you were able to bring the good out in him. It kind of like, wow, this person's okay. You're okay, Why be so hostile? So
thank you, Louise.
Thank you for sharing.
Very welcome. Thank you for your share. And we all have that ability, because we are all love. And it's exercising that. And I'm if my story can inspire you in some way, and any of us on the call, it is possible, because whomever we're having conflict with also is love. And so how can we connect in those ways? I know I can, on my part, by staying open. So thank you. Patricia, what would you like to share? And welcome and aloha. Welcome back. We missed you last week, by the way.
Aloha. Yeah, my battery is a little high. I'm sorry I didn't make it last week. I actually forgot. But
It was Mother's Day too.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was with my son. I did go see my grandchildren in Heartland, Texas, but I did forget to. I did. Hi, aloha.
You're here again.
Aloha.
And self-care, Deborah, is pretty much what I do. God gave it to me a few years back. There's a song by Fred Hammond says he loves on me. So God started loving on me in the morning when I get up. I do the arms and I rub my arms and I stretch and I say, oh Lord, I don't have any pain. That's good. I can stretch. No cramps, no anything. So it became a ritual. And I don't feel right if I don't do it every day. So I stretch like a cat. And I do the leg exercises, the arm. If I'm in a hurry, everything is fine. If I have to really get up and get out of bed. And then I do meditation after I wash up. And I'm getting back to reading more. So I'm putting my intentions to read more in the morning when I first get up and at night before I go to bed. So my ritual is pretty much the same at night. At night, I do more rubbing on myself. I massage myself. And it really helps me set my intention on rest. And then I go to gratitude and look at the whole day and give thanks for the whole day and thanks for tomorrow. And then I do deep breathing. And I might put a YouTube video on or something like that. So that's my self-care daily. It is a ritual. I love it. And I'm grateful. Thank you for sharing, Deborah. Thank you for sharing, Tom. Is that Dr. Jonathan? Thanks for sharing. And you too.
Yes, thank you for everyone. Thank you, Patricia. Wow. This whole stretch like a cat thing, this might be the Heart and Soul's new mission is to wake up and stretch like a cat, all of us in the morning.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah, for starting that with us. To stretch like a cat.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Wow. Okay. Vanessa, what would you like to share?
Okay. Okay. Am I off? No.
Oh, we don't hear you. We don't hear you. Oh, there you are. Go ahead. We hear you now.
You need to turn yours off.
Oh. Okay, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I definitely have had, my morning rituals. I sit with my coffee and I play games on my phone in the morning. I give my brain that challenge and I just sit there and basically accomplish absolutely nothing for about 30 minutes. And then when I shower, that's when I say my daily spiritual mind treatment. Because I find the water, very soothing. And of course, I walk my dog and do kind of a walking meditation, listening to the waterfall. And then I say my affirmations, or I will listen to Australian music on the way to Cooper's house. It kind of depends on what I'm feeling on that particular day. And I have started doing either hypnosis recordings or meditation, and I listen to it all night long, and it's been life-changing. I feel better rested and just feel better. And even with all this stuff, sometimes during the day I get so involved with everything that I feel like I have to do. So I have been really making an effort to give myself more breaks and, paint my nails, color my hair, do things that make me feel good, be creative. And one of the things that I do is I'm obsessed with Buc-ee's gas stations. And so being an Uber driver, sometimes I come across them. So anytime I take somebody somewhere where there's going to be a Buc-ee's, I turn my app off, I go to Buc-ee's, I get me a barbecue sandwich or whatever I'm craving at that moment and just take a break. I'll just sit down in a corner out. They don't have a table there. So I'll sit down in a corner and had me a little picnic right there at Buc-ee's, and I did that today, and it's so much fun.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love, you're so funny. I'm so glad you're part of our Heart and Soul gathering. I forgot about the shower meditation, and
Yeah.
the shower prayers. Yeah, thank you for that. And because you have a pup, and those of you who do have animals that you do have to walk them, what a wonderful way to take care of you and your pup, to get the exercise, to get the time, to have the time with your thinking, to have the walking meditations, or, whatever it is that you connect with nature, depending on where you are. So that's self-care along with your beloved four-leggeds, right? So thank you so much, Vanessa, for your beautiful share. Let's hear from Pamela. Hey, Pamela. Let's see, where are you? Did you unmute yourself, Pamela?
Okay.
There you are.
Just, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes,
Just something kind of short and sweet. I was just, as I was listening to Lewis and you and talking about your interactions with these other people, I think the first thing I thought of was, it took me back to kindergarten, learning the rules of etiquette, and to our opening song, which is that we are one and we treat others the way we want to be treated. So I think even when you get in I try to remember, even if I get into like a passionate conversation where I'm either opposed or somewhat disagree with the other person, I try to remember that other person is just another aspect of myself. And how would I want someone to talk to me when, if I had the other side of that issue? And I just really, it's something I've just really kind of grown into through the years, because I used to be like really, when I was passionate about something, it was my way or the highway. But as many of us mellow out in our years, I'm in my 50s now, and I have become more open-minded and realized that other person, if I believe that we are all one, which I do, then that other person is just another aspect of myself. So I don't want people to be rude or forbearing or aggressive towards me. So I don't want to portray that towards anyone else, because I'm really reflecting it back to myself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I just try, that's a part of taking care of myself, is that I also take care of other people, because if we believe we are all one, then we're just taking care of another aspect of ourselves. So I believe in taking care of myself, but others as well. That's all.
Thank you.
Aloha,
Aloha.
Aloha.
and beautifully said. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that. I really needed to hear that. Thank you. Wow. Doug, aloha, beautiful.
All right, all
Aloha,
right.
Doug.
Deborah, thank you, and Doreen, thank you. This is a great topic. My self-care used to be self-medication, you know, and back in the day, my self-care was, cigarettes and margaritas and all kinds of horrible stuff. But thank God I've made it through, and I'm learning some new tricks. And I was going to say what Pamela said. The golden rule is so beautiful about, treating others like you want to be treated. And for me, it took me a while to realize that I was really working on treating other people good, but I was not treating myself as good. And so one of the things I do for self-care, it's sort of the golden rule in reverse. Occasionally get something for myself, buy a gift for myself. Be patient with myself, not beat myself. I wouldn't criticize someone else for failing at something if they're trying, but I would do it to myself. And so I'm learning to treat myself with the same compassion across the board that I would try to treat others with. And so that's really helpful for me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. The golden rule in reverse. I love it. Thank you so much, Doug.
I
Well,
think
we're
it's
almost,
true
we're
what Doug, sorry.
Go ahead, Pamela.
I was just going to say what Doug was saying, because I think all of us, if we're in this group, probably are to some degree healers. We're certainly caretakers. We're that person on the planet. And just what he was saying, I think that's so true. We get so caught up in taking care of others and making sure everyone else has everything they need and their happiness is met and their needs are met. And then, we ignore ourselves. And I agree. I agree with Doug 100%. I think that's very true, that people with hearts like ours can get caught up in that trap. Thank you.
And I'm glad that we can remind each other in these heart and soul gatherings, right? Renee Morgan Brooks.
Yes,
For
my love.
some beautiful reason, I thought maybe you might have a song. I don't know.
Right now, I seem to have a tickle in my throat, but I am reminded of two things that your loving participants have said, and along with our new thought, I'm also a how do you say? There was a lot of good stuff in that Bible. And one of them says that in all thy ways acknowledge God. And I always tease and say, and she will direct your path. We have to come to a place where there is this merging, of both our divine selves and our human selves. And now it's really important so that there's no more duality within us. We simply let the human fall back and allow the shifting going, much like you do when you drive your car. If you were on the accelerator all the time, you'd run into something. So there's an accelerator and a brake, right? And you use those accordingly to get on your path. And so it is, or to get safely on your path. And so it is with our divine selves. And it's time to let that part of us lead. Most of us have been trained, that scripture says to love thy neighbor as. And most of us, that's where it stopped. It was love thy neighbor. And we didn't get the rest. It was not taught to us as thyself. So we're catching up now with and understanding that we are very worthy and that we must love self so that we can love others in a much more fulfilled way. And that only comes when you know that you are loved, that the divine within you is love. And it's moving through you to love itself in others. That's how I see it. And if there's a song, the song that I get reminded in this conversation is that you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And I bless Karen Drucker. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God. And so to all of our conversations, it is really imperative that we love without judgment, without ego, and that we learn to be neutral in that midline being where our divine nurtures our human. And I need to hush now because, my favorite subject.
Wow. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Ooh. You just
You
gave me
are welcome.
goosebumps. Thank you, Renee Morgan Brooks.
You're welcome, my beloved.
So grateful. And like the words are they're just not coming because I'm in this space of being, as Jonathan talked about. And we are coming to the end of our time. How quickly it goes, right?
Yes.
And the prayer, that is our prayer to be exactly what you just said. And I love the analogy too with the gas and the brake. And I just want to breathe that in. Thank you.
Well, as the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, take a breath, take a holy breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take a breath, take a holy breath. Mm-hmm. Thank you, my dear sister. And it's portraits or portrait?
Plural,
in
portraits
faith.
In faith.
So for those who came after this was announced, I want to say it now because that was Renee Morgan Brooks. And she is an amazing, beautiful, heart, soul musician. And portraitsinfaith.org has a concert coming up that she will be singing in. And what is that date?
It is Saturday, the 23rd, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. You can hear it.
And
Portraits in Faith.
Portraits in Faith, 5 p.m.
.org.
Pacific. Portraitsinfaith.org.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful, amazing project. But I don't want to take up your time, but I may also see, or you may also see me on the meditation on the 21st, which is called May Day.
Wow. You're going to be on it? Like we can see you?
There's a possibility. I haven't got a confirmation. They're excited, but I don't know who does what to whom. So you may see me there as well, for which I'm very grateful.
All right.
It was wonderful to be with you
How
today.
wonderful. Yes, as you as well. And so I'm just going to sing our last song. And as I sing it, it's going to be easy enough for everybody in their own place to sing along where they are. I'll just keep it muted though, because of the time delay, it's hard to hear the songs sung together because we don't have that technology on Zoom. But it's a way for us to end, and then I will pray us out. The whole face of God, I am, that you are, that we are that love. And when we talk about self-care, we love ourselves so much that that's what we do, is we take care of ourselves, we take care of others. We are that presence and power that is the light that is moving this planet to the higher and highest vibrations. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Let's have the lyrics up. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I think that's exactly what happened at the Midas miracle. I love me so much that I can love you so much over there that's doing what you're doing, so that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. And I can have zero on my invoice of a battery that costs $300. I'm so grateful. The miracles that show up when we keep our hearts open, when we stay out of judgment, we're in that neutral zone. So it is with this deep gratitude that I say thank you, thank you, thank you for this time together. Thank you for the opportunity to hear the wisdom in this group from our heart and souls. Thank you for all that was expressed and all that's still mulling around in all of our beings as we move from this time, this circle, taking it out into our lives, into our world, and into our own being. Looking forward to those who then come together on the 21st for the meditation, global meditation, where 1 billion people and more will plug in and know that love is the most powerful force in the universe, that we live it, we be it, we are it. It is God, as me, as you in action. We are that. We are that. No doubt. Thank you for being here to remind me, to remind us, to take care of ourselves because we're taking care of God. I'm going to stretch like a cat now. Sing in the shower. And remember the golden rule in reverse. Thank you and gratitude. Aho, Ashe, Amen. Blessed be. And so it is.
And